1972, the Cold War was at its peak. The most important battle on Earth was fought in 64 squares. Welcome to Fischer's 1972 series of World Championship, 21 games that shook the Soviet chess machine and changed history forever. Today we cover the game 1, Bobby Fischer vs Boris Spassky. Here Boris Spassky was white and Bobby Fischer was black. So here black played the move knight f6 followed by c4, e6, knight f3 and d5. It is the queen's camp decline variation, and here white play the move knight c3, which is a developing move, and followed by bishop b4, e3 and castles. So now we enter into the reversing defense. So here white play the move bishop d3, a normal developing move, keeping an eye on the h7 square, right? So here black play the move c5. So he is going to attack the center on d4, right, which is c5 pawn. So white play the move castles, black play knight c3, knight c6, which is a developing move. So here white replay with a3. He is just putting a pressure on this b4 bishop, right? So Fischer play the move bishop to a5 followed by white play the move knight e2, which is a slightly inaccuracy because now black has a chance to play, right? So he can just take, right? So if you take back, I just take this. So Fischer here played the move d takes c4 instead of c takes d4. So here bishop takes c4 and bishop b6, just keeping an eye on this d4 pawn, right? So you can just take, right? You can just take with this pawn. If he takes, I can just take back more attackers on this d4, right? If I now take that, then he will take. If I take, then he will take, right? So there are so many pressure on this d4. So here white play the move d takes c5 followed by queen d1, rook d1, bishop c5. It's the normal middle game position, right? So two sides have a equal material, and here the imbalances are black has a well positioned three pieces, right? So his three pieces are well placed, and white has a beautiful structure of pieces developed, right? So this c1 and c8 bishop is not yet developed, and white control this d1 diagonal side, right? So this d diagonal is a plus for white. So here black play the move bishop c5 and followed by b4, attacking the bishop to e7, right? So here we made a mistake, right, by playing bishop b6, so keeping an eye on this diagonal, right? But he just played bishop e7 because this d6 is so important square, because if you play bishop b6, he can just play rook d6. Not suddenly, but you can expect this move, right? So this d6 will become weak and he can play somehow, put his knight on here, right? So he can just go back, just bring the knight to c5, right? So or he can just play knight d2, knight e4, knight d6, or knight c4, knight d6. So these are the possibilities. This knight to d6 and knight to c5 are coming. So here he plays the move bishop e7 followed by bishop b2 followed by bishop d7, rook c1, just he controlling this file also. So these two files are controlled by white rook, so it's a very good position for white, right? So Fischer played in rook d8 followed by knight d4, centralizing the knight, and here black played the move knight d4 and bishop a4, just attacking this d1 rook, right? So here white played the move bishop b3, going for an exchange, and here black takes the bishop. So here he trade the rook also, and he enters into the endgame of three pieces, and here just he's bringing his king, right? So two of them are putting more pressure on the center, and he plays the move knight e4, just going to play knight c3, or he can just play bishop f6 then knight c3. So it's an idea for black, right? So here white play the move rook c1, just going to exchange the rooks, right? So they exchange the rooks, and in the end they play f6 followed by knight a5, knight d6, supporting this b7 pawn, right? So king d3, bishop d8, attacking the knight c4, bishop c7, knight d6, bishop d6. We enter into the same color bishop endgame, so it could be a draw. It's a dead equal position. So let's see what's the result. So here white played the move b5 followed by bishop takes h2. This is the peak inaccuracy of this game, right? So it's a complete blunder by Fischer. Why? Because if you take this pawn, then he will play g3, right? So it's a great move because this bishop is trapped. You cannot save this bishop like going to play h5, right? So if you play h5, king will be e2. If you play h4, king f3, right? If you play h takes g3, f takes g3. If you play bishop g1, then king g2, bishop e3, bishop e3, and you lost the bishop and you lost the game. So this is the biggest blunder of this game, and you need to wake up at this moment to see how the game is going to end. Our Fischer is going to lose his first game in the World Championship. So let's see. Here white played the move g3 followed by h5 followed by king e2, h4, king f3, and king e7 followed by king g2, hg3, fg3, bishop g3, and king to g3. If you believe it or not, it's an equal position right now also, because if you defend this position with black correctly, you can draw the game. If not, then you are lost. Let's see how Fischer handled it. He played king d6 followed by a4, king d5, bishop a3, king e4, bishop c5 followed by a6, b6. So it's a great move because he's just freezing these two pawns, right? So he's going to put his pawn on a5, then these pawns are simply frozen. Black played the move f5, which is a mistake because it's going to be a dead loss for black at this moment. White played king h4. He's going to bring his king to g5 and g6, so it's a loss for black. f4 followed by e to x f4, king takes f4, right? So king h5, king f5, bishop e3, right? So we cannot bring the pawn to g5, so it's a completely lost for black. He played king e4, bishop f2, king f5, bishop h4, followed by e5, bishop g5, e4, bishop d6. So it's a completely dead position for black. King f6, he's just rerouted his king to the center, and he just gave up his pawn, and he's trying something, but it's completely lost for black. And here, after king d6, black resigns, and Bobby Fischer lost the game. He lost his first game in the World Chess Championship. How he's going to return back? So if you want to see the next video, subscribe to Checkmate City. We will see in the next video.